Hello friends, myself Ravi Inania, and today I am here with my Viva topic, that is wrapping class in Java. So today's date 22nd of the August 2022. So we will talk about wrapping class. So before starting with our topic, I will talk about wrapping or what is wrapping. So wrapping, the best example of wrapping is that in our school time we used to cover our books with a cover or plastic cover or paper cover. So what happen when we cover our books? It will prevent our book from dust or scratches. So it cover the element from or it process in which it used to protect our element from outside. So this is called wrapping. So what is wrapping class? So or why there is a concept of wrapping class in Java? So when we say object oriented, people used to say that Java is an object oriented programming language, but there is some error or in that definition. We can say that Java is not 100% object oriented. It is, we can say, 99% object oriented programming language, but it is not 100%. Why not 100%? Because it still uses the primitive data types from data types which are used from C, C++, etc. So object oriented means in process in which whatever you want to do, whatever process you want to do, it should be through an object or a class, so or a reference data type. But the primitive data types are not a reference data type. So because of that, the concept of wrapping class is derived. So we can say the use of because of using primitive data type, Java is not 100% object oriented. So there is a difference between primitive and non-primitive. I like that. We can say the data type which are primitive has its specific size, fixed size, and it has its specific range. Or we can, for example, we can say a boolean data type. Its size is 1 byte, and it store only two type of values. That is, we can say it can store only one value at a time, but it can store only two values. That is, it can either store true or false. So it has its specific size and specific, we can say, specific range of data it can store, that has its fixed range. But in other hand, non-primitive, it doesn't have its specific size or length, etc. So another difference is that we can say the primitive data types are stored on this stack. Because of that, when we use maximum number of primitive data, our process of execution is take some little bit more time than using object or the reference data type. So the primitive data types are stored on stack. In other hand, the non-primitive data types, which that we can say reference data type, are stored on heap. So because of that, when we use reference variables, it reduces the size of stack, and our process will be faster than the another method that contain maximum number of primitive data types. So the wrapping classes is used to overcome that problem. So what the work of wrapping class is that it convert the primitive data type into non-primitive data type. So there are mainly, we can say, we know that there are 8 type of primitive data types. So there are 8 predefined wrapping classes in Java. Which are they? We can say the name of wrapping classes is same as the name of primitive data type, but only two differences are there. We can say first, that is, the name of wrapping class is start with a capital letter. Suppose our data is primitive data type is float, and the wrapping class name is also float, but there is only one difference, that is, in wrapping class, because it is class, it start with a capital letter F. So there is only one difference between primitive data type and the non-primitive reference class data type, class type. So the second type is that all the primitive non all the wrapping classes name is same as the name of primitive data type, but except two, that is char and int. So the name of char wrapping class is character and int wrapping class is integer. So this is a major difference, or this is a major we can say exception of two names that are used in given to the wrapping class. So we will move to next part, that is how wrapping class, or what the work of wrapping class is that. So every wrapping class consists of three main functions. We can say first is that we can say value of. So value of is a static method. So when we say static method, we don't need to create an object of that method. So what does it do? It we can say it is also called as unboxing. So our primitive data type is converted into non-primitive data type. So and it return the reference of that and that address, reference of that object, and is stored in the we can say non-primitive object. So the example is that suppose we want to store or convert our integer value into reference value. So we can say we can do that like integer, that is wrapping class name integer I. For example, I is an object of the integer class, equals to we can say integer dot value of, in the bracket we pass the value in double quote, because we pass it in the string. String, why string? If we are passing directly number, so it doesn't accept the integer, but it accepts the string and it convert that value into primitive data type, so non-primitive data type, and it store in the, and it provide the reference to the I object of integer class. So this is boxing. So this is this is an boxing. So boxing, this is boxing. The next part is that unboxing. So unboxing is that it convert, it is a first of all I would say that it is a non-static method. So we want to, when we want to do that process, we need to create an object of that class. So suppose we want to convert our reference variable, reference object value, that is we can say our reference object. For example, I had recently last example I given you, that is 123, and its reference address is stored in the object of integer I. So when we convert, we want to convert that value into back into primitive data type, so we use unboxing. So to do that, we need to create an object of integer class, and it return the int value or that particular that primitive value to that position. So we can say that int I equals to and we will pass that we can say that int value. So int value in the bracket that object, so it will return the primitive data type of that object, or the value which consists inside that object. And the last part is parse method. It is also a static method. So when we want to do that, we need to convert, we can call it through class directly. We don't need to call it by an object. So what the work of parse is that in our primitive data type, we used to convert our higher data type into lower data type explicitly through a conversion. So also this is the same, it also convert the higher data type into lower data type through parse int or parse float, parse double. For every one it convert, and every wrapping class consists these three methods predefinedly, but it has its own method. That is, for integer it will be parse int, for float it will be parse float. That's like that. So with this I like to stop here and